Technology. Love it or hate it, it has an integral part to how we holistically defend ourselves in this century. And if you're a self-protection instructor, or if you're a parent, or if you look after vulnerable people, then some of these tools will be really, really, really useful to you. Now, they will never take the place of things like soft skills, such as awareness, avoidance, de-escalation, understanding of the law. And they'll never take the place of the hard skills, being able to punch, kick, grapple, roll, fight, have the grit and integrity to take a shot and give a shot. All of these things have to be earned through graft. You have to study, you have to practice, you have to drill, and you have to graft. However, we can absolutely use technology as an ancillary support mechanism. I'm going to go through some useful tools that you could provide as part of your overall self-protection armory, and something that you can share with your pupils and with the people that you train with. So I'm going to break some of these down for you. I think one of the first and one of the most impressive is Citizen Aid. So you see here, Citizen Aid. Now what this is essentially a tool that helps us find the what-if solutions for people that are a little bit struck by inertia. Now, again, these won't take the place of first aid training or combatives training or anything like that, but it may help you jerk yourself out of that inaction. And they're really useful tools to have. So, the people that created this, it's partially funded by St. John's Ambulance, partially funded by members of the Army Medical Corps, and a number of different partners too. But as you can see, you open the app and it very simply breaks down into types of scenarios. So vehicle attack, explosions, unattended item, suspicious item, different types of first aid treatments. And clicking any of these, let's say suspicious item, will then lead to a really easy to use fact sheet and next steps, what you should do, how you should do it, and how you can essentially mitigate dangers and keep yourself safer. And again, when it comes to, say, the first aid sections, such as treatment, it breaks down into things you need to look at, not breathing, severe bleeding, not responding, broken bones, thermal burns, acid burns. It breaks down a huge number of things, let's say broken bones, just for argument's sake, and then it explains what you should do if you need to do anything at all, how to best do it, and how to have the best handover once you are done to emergency services personnel. So it's a really good tool, Citizen Aid. It's big, it's gross motor, it's got big massive buttons, you smash it, every fact sheet is written in good, clear, plain English with good diagrams, and for most people, even if you haven't had any training, it will help break that confusion, that inertia. And even if you have had training, it is comforting to know that you are on the right line. So even if you don't use this on the spot, having this as something you can refresh yourself with is really useful as a tool. So I really like Citizen Aid. It is free, which is absolutely fantastic. It is clear, and most scenarios that could feasibly be considered dangerous to us in the 21st century are covered in this. Okay. Let's look at the next one. So the next one is an app called Be Safe. Now, this app is essentially designed to help keep you safe. Really, I would say it's got a kind of almost a parental bent to it, in that it's got a function called Follow Me. So I can follow you in real time. I can add people to my circle. So you could add sons, daughters, friends, relatives, the vulnerable person next door, whomever. They can use the app very simply to tell you where they're going. I'm going to this pub, this park, whatever. The app will automatically tell you when they've got there. So you know what young people are like, or vulnerable people are like. If you say, text me when you get to XYZ, they probably won't. Whereas this app at least keeps you updated. They've arrived at the place they said they would arrive at, and they have left at the time that they said they were going to leave. You can do things like schedule a fake call. So if you find yourself in a bit of an uncomfortable situation and you want a socially permissive exit, now in reality you should have the skills to exit without this, but for some people they need that comfort blanket. So why deny it to them? So the fake call arranges a call back to you at a specific time you can use as a kind of a social excuse to get yourself out of Dodge. It's got a really big and clear SOS function here, which will call and text your circle of people that you have nominated, and again send them your GPS location and where they are and where they've been. So again, it leaves a really good kind of breadcrumb trail of where people are going and where they've been. And it's also got a voice activated alarm function too. So if you were to say a certain word or a certain phrase and it's picked up by the phone, it will do the SOS too. So again, if you feel like you cannot access the device, but you can verbalize something, you can choose what that something is, and the Be Safe app will do it. Now, unlike the Citizens Aid, the Be Safe app does require it's a cheap subscription. I think it's like £1 to £2 per month, which is nothing really in the world of subscription apps. It's really good, it's really robust, it's very well trusted. I like the fact of the automated responses. So I go from here to there, and when I arrive, it tells people I've arrived without me having to think about messaging loved ones to tell them I've arrived. So it's a really, really good tool. That's the Be Safe app. You've got a really stripped back version, which is just called the red panic button. And it's exactly that. You add 6 contacts to it, you find yourself in danger, you hit the red button, it texts and messages those people and tells them exactly where you are, helps them use a map to find that location, and other bits and pieces too. And it's an accuracy down to 5 meters, which is pretty decent. That obviously is so much more stripped back than Be Safe, but in many ways that might be quite a good thing to do. Big red panic button, have it on the front home screen of your phone, blah! People get alerted. Nice, simple, robust. Again, this is subscription, but it's very low cost. It's £1 to £2 a month. And then we've got Life 360, which is a bit more advanced, and this is more, I would say, of a family tracking app in that, yes, it does have safety alerts, so I can trigger a safety alert and have it message and call my circle of friends and family. It can also, however, log how friends and relatives are driving. So you can see if they're driving at high speed, if they're braking hard, if they're accelerating hard. So you can keep track of driving habits almost in a telematics kind of way, but without it being interfering with insurance. So you could pull your son, daughter, friend, relative aside and say, look, you're driving a bit strange here, you're driving a bit fast, you're braking a bit hard, is there anything I can do? Can we help you? It could be anything. It could be mechanical problems, could be behavioural problems in how you're driving. But this has the core safety features of some of the other apps with the added benefit of being able to monitor driving habits, which is quite a cool feature. And again, this is a low-cost subscription app. And then finally, I really recommend What 3 Words, and I'll just bring that up on here. Now, What 3 Words is this app here, and it breaks down the entire world into a grid. Okay, each grid has 3 words which are unique to that place, and it allows you to explain to people exactly where you are. So if you're in lemon, mongoose, teacup, for argument's sake, it knows precisely within that frame where you are. It has many benefits over things like Google Maps, although the technologies are reaching parity. You can still do longitude and latitude with Google Maps. It's a really good way to have a very precise pinpoint location to where you are. So if you're describing to emergency services where you might be, the postcode might take you to a large industrial estate, and that might take 20 minutes for them to navigate. It might take them to a business park. There might be wilderness areas. Sometimes having the exact location broken down by What 3 Words, which many emergency services support, is a really useful thing to do. So being able to describe accurately where you are very quickly is great. And if you think about things like if you need to get across to the police, where you are very, very quickly, as opposed to I'm kind of here off this exit next to that building. If you adjust these 3 words, bam, 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 immediately they know where you are and they can act on that knowledge, whether it's a first aid or a self-protection situation. People can act on that knowledge with pinpoint accuracy, which is fantastic. It's very important that you are clear using the app because sometimes they use plurals. So you might have cup and cups. Make sure that you say the words accurately. Let's say that's one drawback. So if you're going to have this system, just burn into your mind, accuracy is very important. Say the words exactly or text the words exactly as they are, and that will be very, very useful to you. But What 3 Words, as well as having all the normal navigation apps like Google Maps, is a really useful thing to have. So absolutely build in there, and it's free, which is fantastic. So to summarise, having apps is a really useful part of your self-protection game plan. Most young people, in fact most people, will have this on them at all times, pretty much at all times, and they'll often have it out at times of danger because they'll be trying to frantically call, to navigate, to do stuff, to use a torch in the darkness. People have their phones out in emergencies all the time So you may as well stack the deck in your favour by having useful things on there. Like I said, it doesn't take the place of awareness, avoidance, de-escalation, all of those good things. But what it does do is it helps you, let me just type in my password. What it does do is it helps you add extra elements to support you. It helps you get emergency services closer to your location. It helps lessen the time needed to alert people that you're in danger. So to break those apps down again, Citizen Aid helps you provide first aid solutions, safety, awareness, engaging with the authorities. All of those things are broken down on Citizen Aid. It's a fantastic, free, amazing tool, and you should absolutely use it and have it on your phone. Big, simple, easy to use. We've got the big red panic button, which again, nice, simple. Smash the button, it messages the relatives that you're in danger and gives them a location as to where you are in real time. Fantastic, simple. You've got Life 360, which allows you to send out alerts if you feel like you're in danger, but also allows you to monitor the driving habits of loved ones and people that are within your circle. And an absolute banger is the Be Safe one, because it integrates voice-activated emergency alarms, schedules in fake calls. It allows you to automatically ping out a message once you've arrived to a location, can track you in real time. It's just a very, very good tool. So I'd say if you can get those tools, then absolutely you are putting things in your favor, keeping yourself a little bit safer, and you can integrate that into your usual self-protection plan alongside all the soft skills and the hard skills. Especially for young people, get them engaged with it. Very importantly, I would say, test it. Test it, test it, test it. Once you add these things, or you pay your small subscription, or you get used to them, build your family circle and test the bloody thing. Test it where you are. Test the speed in which it texts those relatives. If you're a relative, test it. Drive to where that location sends you. Give these things a bit of a dry run. Give these things a bit of a drill. It's worth it just for a lesson plan to use and download some of these apps if you're a teacher, and then test them. Give them a go. Go in the car park. Do some stuff with them. If you're an instructor, you know that nearly everyone in your class is going to be using one of these for light, for navigation, for calls, for safety. You might as well give them some extra tools in their arsenal and then drill them like you drill everything else. But I really advise you not to ignore the range of things out there. There are extra ways to add further benefits to put the odds in your favour, and that's what matters. So give them a whirl. There's many more out there, but those are the ones which I found particularly useful in my tests. Give it a play.